Hello guys, today we're going to be looking at another AFL Evolution 2 wishlist video. About a month ago I made one where I focused more on sort of like cosmetic features to the game, such as a new scoreboard or technical things like commentary, and like a couple of visual things like having the premiership badge carry over to the current premier team in your career mode. But today we're looking at 4 things in particular that I would like to see change. They're more feature-based things for AFL Evolution 2. The first one is the soundtrack. Now, we've had very small soundtracks in AFL Evolution and AFL Live 2 of about 6 or 7 just Australian indie music songs, which aren't necessarily bad. I think they sort of grow on you as you play the game. But I would prefer to see some of the classics like Up Deck Azalea, Last One Standing, and Holy Grail to come back, as we saw them in AFL Live 1 back in 2011. Since then, I just think the quality's dropped off. Back in AFL Live 2, we did have that one footy song, which was probably the worst song on there, though. Just in an objective way, it was quite hard to listen to when I was playing that game. But yeah, I think it would be good to see those ones come back, or at least a bigger soundtrack of about 15 to 20 songs. If I'm going to be putting in tens, potentially hundreds of hours into this game, I don't want to be hearing the same few songs every day, because it just starts to drive you crazy. After about 3 months of playing the game, I think I just stopped using the audio altogether, because it was just frustrating me a little bit to hear the same recycled music again and again, especially when they're kind of unknown songs that you wouldn't have heard before. Anyway, moving on to the second thing, it is in coach career, just being able to access a bit of statistics and stuff from players in your state side. So if I'm using Carlton in the career mode, then seeing the Northern Blues and some of my AFL players in there, just how they're going. Potentially if some of my players are in a form slump, it would be cool to be able to see who's really shining in the VFL that I could bring in as a replacement. And it probably doesn't do much, that's why the players have ratings, you can see who to bring in or not. But I think it would just be a little bit cool and a bit more realistic if we could have those sort of things. Another one for career mode, this time the player career mode. I would really like to see a draft. In AFL Evolution 1, you got your 1 season of TAC Cup footy, and then you were given a list of offers of AFL clubs that you could join. I think now you'll probably get your year of NAB League football, and then now hopefully there is a draft with even some potential cutscenes of just going up there and accepting, your Guernsey or something. Like, they have cutscenes in the game, in celebration. So I don't think it would be that much harder to just add a backdrop of, the place where they hold the draft and something. That's probably very wishful thinking, but it would be cool. It would just add a little bit more realism to see your player go up, and even if it's just a photo with the Guernsey, something like that would be nice. And also in player career mode, I'd like to see my player drop to the seconds if they're performing poorly, and I'll have to try and fight my way back up to the top of the ranks and play AFL football again, because I got really bored of player career mode. I don't even think I completed an actual season of AFL footy, just because you're 18 years old, you come in, no matter what your form in the TSC Cup was like, and you're given a game round 1 for any AFL club you go to. There could be Richmond, and it could be a premiership favourite, and you're still starting in the lineup. It just does seem a little bit unrealistic. Now, last one, very far-fetched from me here, but I just wanted to put it in. It's something that we've been hinted at for a little while, as people have just been wanting it for a long time. It is Ultimate Team mode. I did a bit of research yesterday. I just went 45 times 18 on the calculator. It's 810. So that's how many players roughly would be in the database. I think that's well and truly enough to create an Ultimate Team mode, because each player will have 22 players in their team, and I think that's a lot. You won't be having the same players in every single club. I think everyone should start with a team of low-rated players, maybe 1 star from your supported club or something. Work your way up. No transfer market. I think it's a little bit too heavy, too much work. But packs, microtransactions could be introduced, which would really help with the profit of the game and help fund the next AFL Evolution installment. Maybe you could buy players, like certain players on a match day. So say this Thursday, you could buy a Brisbane or Collingwood player. A couple could be in a little marketplace system where you've got to use your in-game currency to buy them. I obviously thought as well, maybe you could introduce the State League players to the team, or to your teams, but then I realised that they only really have the team licensing and not the actual players themselves. So it probably wouldn't work. But yeah, I think there's a lot of, potential for an Ultimate Team game mode in AFL Evolution 2, just because of the fact that it's kind of bare bones otherwise. We don't have a lot. We've got career mode and tournament mode, and you know, you can sort of try and have your own fun with the fan hub. In AFL Evolution 1, I played with the Collingwood and St Kilda team 2010 and recreated the grand final. I tried to take the Brisbane three-peat team to another premiership in 2017. Just little things like that. But yeah, I think an Ultimate Team mode would give the game a lot more longevity and would also just give us a little bit of a break. So, you know, you can go from career mode to Ultimate Team back and forth, because I get a little bit sick of career mode, you know, and I think it would allow the game to go on for like a couple of years, whereas in right now I couldn't even really think of playing AFL Evolution. I think it would just be too boring at the moment. But yeah, anyway, the game should probably be 6 weeks away at the most, really. Which means they're not going to make a lot of changes, but this is just things that I hope they implemented into the game, and we will find out soon, I'm sure. Anyway, until next time, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later.